CJ here, live at DC Black Film Festival, and I am here with
Badger Al Shuaib.
your movie Sicko. So, it's a very tense little film. Like you said, you have the conservative dad, and then you have the mom who is pretty much polar opposite and stuff. How did you go about, like, I guess, starting this premise? And like, clearly, it's the actors that have to kind of convey your idea, but like, how did you set all that up to kind of get that out of them and stuff, especially with the way everything is set up in the film?
So the idea first came to me is like I wanted to discuss issues that are relevant to what's happening in the U.S. right now, but at the same time could be conveyed as something relative to other cultures or around the world. And one of the issues that we're like currently facing is teenage kids coming out about their feelings or like their identity, and that's why I wanted to tackle that issue. And while I was building up to that story, I put in more like elements which eventually shape the whole story. And and then always usually like when I write my stories, I like to be even with either the issues or the characters, so to give a chance for all perspectives to be told on screen rather than just be speaking about just one perspective and like going that direct in one direction. I want the audience to see both ends. So that's why when I put in the father, he's more relatable because I'm Middle Eastern, so I understand more about his culture or his religion. So I had like so much information about that. But at the same time, I don't want to show the religion or the culture to be something negative. So I had to put in the mother who suits that character of being the opposite end because she is recently converted, or like let's say for the like second half of her lifetime she converted to Islam, so she has lived both worlds. So she could be that person who pulls him back and push and like holds him back away from the daughter during their like how they raise her and stuff like that. So basically to show that the culture or the religion could go both ways. It depends on the person how they choose to go about it.
Yeah, because it kind of shows a lot of nuance and stuff. Because I mean, it's very rare because you watch a lot of movies and like I think you pointed out, the aspect is always one-sided. And so it's I always feel it's kind of a breath of fresh air to see kind of like, all right, I understand his angle, but I also see the mother's angle, and you kind of make it. And like I said, those are kind of like the best movies when they challenges the audience. Like, all right, I see both ends, and now I don't know how to feel now. And it's like this and that. So you have the angle with the daughter and her like finding herself with her relationship with another girl. So was that kind of like a wrinkle that you really wanted to introduce to that, just to kind of challenge both of these characters' viewpoints?
Yeah, it's because it's kind of interesting because in the Islamic religion, it's kind of like not allowed. Yeah, and like they have consequences to it. But like in my point of view, I think that was like years ago because things change, and like and I now like some punishments they're no longer applicable because there's alternatives. There's like the law itself. The law has other sorts of punishments depending on how severe the thing is. So and that's what she says in like in the film. I don't want to like, say too much about the thing, but she says you're not the law to decide that, you know. And I wanted to show that because some people like even in our religion like they're very strict about these things. So I just want to show that things happen, things could happen, and it's out of our control, but it's not our right to decide the ultimate decision of how to go about it. And it's more reasonable to think about your actions before you go ahead and rush into it, because there's always, and especially in a family, there's always the importance of sitting down together and talking about it and like explaining each side of point of view and coming up with a solution that everyone is satisfied with. And then that girl, it's not that she's deep into it, she's still discovering, yeah, figuring it out. And the father is not giving her that space to figure out that thing, so that's why she's going like in ways that might be against how what he wants. Because usually we have like a saying, anything that is um, like forbidden is actually, it pushes you to actually want to do it, you know.
That's a rule of thumb as a teenager because it's like,
Yeah.
hey, don't do that, okay?
Okay,
And then I'm just
why
gonna do it
you-
anyway. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
care.
like, I want to know, like, why do you want me to do it? Because I want to know why, you know. You learn by doing, you know. You can't just tell me don't do it, and I'm like, I don't understand why I don't want me to do it. I need to understand why, you know. So it's like that's why it's important to sit down and speak to your kids, speak about it rather than just like being more disciplined. Like, don't do this, do that. Come, why did you do that? Do that. Like you're punished. You're grounded. You know, it's like more. It's more like better to just sit and talk, especially in this type of world that we're living right now. The kids are like no longer the same as 10, 20, 30 years ago when it's like they just listen and that's it. Now people are more like with the internet. They're more like open-minded right now. They understand things more than the adults understand. So the communication is really important. It saves a lot of time and a lot of like conflicts in especially inside the house. It saves a lot of conflicts. And like for me, like I was asked, like because the ending was open ending.
Oh yeah,
A lot of people ask me, like even the actors, like why is it an open ending? We want to know what happens next. And I'm like, it's not me to decide what happens next because it can like whatever how the movie ended, it can go different ways. Like yeah, the story could go in way too many ways. I don't want to choose that for the audience because as I said, that this could happen in any household, and each household has a different ending to it because we're not all the same.
Yes, there's no singular choices and stuff, so to speak.
Yeah, so there's like a strong mother that might make a choice that will end the whole family. There is a mother who's more caring. She would like just wants to save the family, so she will let it go. There's maybe a kid that will be more have a post-traumatic drama about what happened, or just like other kids won't care less and like it's like yeah, okay, it's another day in my house. I'm just it's like you don't know what will happen. So I didn't want to put that kind of ending.
Because I mean, one of the things I like is like you said, the girl is trying to figure things out, and you're a teenager and such. And I think for me, and I think a lot of us and stuff, you either grow up in the church or whatever religion you are, you're trying to figure out like, is this going against my religion? And I feel like as a kid, you're kind of indoctrinated, and then as you grow up, you're like, okay, is this really why I am? So was that something that you really wanted to show on top of her figuring things out too as well?
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. I want to show because she's in a like she's living in a very conflicting world. She's always like her character, that how I portrayed it and how I told the actress to do it is like you're always hesitant about things to do because there's things you want to do, but you're not sure if that's the right thing to do. You're not sure if that's something that your parents would approve of. But then you see other people doing it and nothing is happening. Like it's not a big deal. So like you have that you're in that between that line where you want to cross but you can't cross. You want to, so that's what, yeah, so like when that she makes that one mistake, it's like everything.
It's like, oh my god, like,
Yeah,
I didn't expect this to happen. Like,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, thank you, taking time because, like I said, it's definitely like you said, the open-ended nature of it is like, okay, I'm fine with that because, like you said, you want to make the audience make that choice for themselves and kind of like lean into like, all right, I have experienced this and it went this way and stuff. So I definitely appreciate that. So yeah, thank you, taking time to talk to us. Cool. CJ out.